Welcome back to Travel Show Live, and it is all about how you're going to get to a particular destination. Of course, this week it's all about France, and we can't talk about France without talking about Rail Europe. That's why Samina's here.
That's right. You can't talk about France without talking about trains.
You can't. I love going on the train.
Great. I'm glad to hear
and
that.
A lot of people that are watching this that aren't in, aren't on the Northeast Corridor. They don't. Trains are not a part of their everyday life. They don't take subways. They don't realize what they're missing until they actually do it.
Absolutely. And France actually has an amazing network of railway. It's something like 190,000 miles of rail networks covering the country.
Now explain just a little bit too, because I know sometimes people get confused as to what train covers. Rail Europe covers obviously Europe, but I mean, help us out a little bit there.
Rail Europe is owned by the French and the Swiss railroads, but we represent over 35 European railroad companies. So if you need to go anywhere in Europe, we probably have a pass for you, or a ticket for you, or maybe even an add-on. We don't just do rail passes, we have add-on, city sightseeing, many other products.
That's very smart for you guys to do.
Yeah, you know what, it helps the customer. And people wanted to get their rail travel and so much more from us. So we really aim to provide whatever we can.
And that's something that, if I understand correctly, you can actually do in advance.
Absolutely.
Correct? You can have those passes sent to you, right?
It's probably better to do that. Right now, the dollar is a little bit weak. Probably better to pay for everything in advance in USD. Also, many of the high-speed trains, in fact all of them except for the German ICE train, require seat reservations in advance, and we always recommend you do that before you leave. That way you've got the peace of mind of knowing you've got a seat on the train on the day that you want to travel, and it's not going to mess up your vacation plans if you just don't get that.
That makes a lot of sense too, because a lot of people, statistically speaking, aren't the Griswolds that are planning every last step of their trip, but at the same time, a little bit of preparation, a little, you know what I mean? That, and people don't realize, oh yeah, you might need a ticket.
Exactly.
That's very important to have in advance, and it mitigates all that hassle.
Yeah, I mean, and train travel, I mean, the frequency of the trains is very good. So instead of maybe getting on a 9 o'clock, you can get on a 10 o'clock if you don't have a seat reservation. However, in peak travel time, if you're traveling in the summer when all of the Europeans are traveling, you just don't want to run into any disappointments of not being able to board on the day you want to.
That's an excellent point too, because a lot of us don't realize, when do the Europeans travel? I mean, I know the Germans don't work at all. They travel all the time.
They're so
Everywhere
lucky.
I go, I run into the Australians and the Germans, no matter where you are.
They have a good deal.
They really do. They have like 9 weeks of vacation a year. So aside from the Germans, when do most Europeans are traveling when? Within Europe, I should say.
I would say the month of August is usually the peak time for Europeans to take their vacation and travel. But to tell you the truth, Europeans travel by train. That's how they get to work. That's how they get away for their weekend getaways. They're always going to be on the train.
So again, we did a little planning helps.
Yes.
I mean, I couldn't have asked for a better interview.
Oh, thank you very much.
They just go to raileurope.com, right?
Absolutely. Raileurope.com, everything there. It's very easy.
And buy the guide too. You can get like a city guide as well, right?
Yes.
I love that. We'll continue here on Travel Show Live. Stay with us.